Hello again, I'm Bob Colt. We're continuing our conversations in Charlotte Public Schools. Eric Emery
Yes, sir.
is with me. He is a Board of Trustee member in the Board of Education. So tell us, how's the board work going? Did you ever think that this would be something you would do?
I've been told by all sorts of people, you've got to be crazy. Crazy to be doing what you're doing, but I'm really enjoying it.
To be on the Board of Education is really a commitment, and it's not a job that you get paid for, right? So that you're not making any money off this thing.
Well, they do pay for for meetings, but it's nothing compared to what you have, the time and stuff that you put into it.
And so a lot of people, Eric, don't think about what kind of time goes into being on the board. Tell them.
Well, there's obviously there's all sorts of meetings that you have to attend, and in regards to meetings, there are a lot of concern questions and stuff that come in the community, and you have to make sure that your board president's addressing those issues, and a lot of side talk. Anytime that you go into the grocery store, there's always you're always spending a lot of time,
Sure.
and I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And I'm really considered to be a social bug, so I'm right in there with the social networking bit. So I really enjoy it. I really do.
Good. Well, it is an elected position.
Mm-hmm.
So what would make somebody run for an election for an office on a school board? Because knowing that it takes a lot of time and dedication and additional work.
First and foremost, it's all about the kids. And when I was vested in Charlotte Public Schools for about 18 years, and I decided to take another position with Relevant Academy of Eaton County.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a team leader there, and I said to myself, if I ever stepped away from Charlotte Public Schools, I would love to be on the board. A couple reasons for that. The big reason is I love kids, and I want to do what's best for kids. And what better position to be on the board and make decisions with kids always in mind. And so it's just a joy. I really enjoy that.
What great dedication to actively be more involved when you left being employed in Charlotte Public Schools.
There is a lot of dedication. I didn't know if that was a question or not.
No, it is. It is amazing dedication, because you step away from your job, but then you move up to really a Board of Education position.
Sure.
So a lot of people might just walk away getting another job, but you actually became even more involved in the Board of Education. It's amazing.
Well, yeah. Again, when I walked away, it was a difficult decision. I felt it was the best decision. Being that I was going to a place that was going to expand on helping kids, at-risk kids at that, knowing that I'm doing a service that's going to help the community, and then hopefully create or teach kids to be good community members, good citizens of Charlotte.
Well, so you've been around this community a long time. How have the kids changed over time?
Well, the information age, the internet. That's been the biggest piece. You've got there's just so much out there. Things are so much faster. It wasn't like a teacher would sit up in front of a classroom and give a lecture. It's not like that anymore. Everything is so fast-paced, and your iPads.
Yeah.
Even though it's just a tool, but the technology that's being used, even with your phone right there, it's an incredible piece of equipment that teachers have to be trained on. So it's totally different from when I was going to school and when any of us were going to school. Obviously, It's just a big change.
And so, how do you integrate that kind of technology into a school environment to make it a useful tool? It's not just a marketing tool. It really has to help kids learn, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of training that goes into that. A lot of training, and then of course, with training, making sure that the information is accurate. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet, and you want to make sure everything is accurate. But our educators, our teachers here are doing a wonderful job of using the technology, and we have educators, parapros that are training, and they're continuously training to make sure that they're keeping up on those technologies. It's just amazing. It's an amazing time. It's an amazing time to be an educator, I believe.
And we really don't talk enough about all of the work that a teacher does. It's not just in the classroom. There is so much work that a teacher does that people don't appreciate.
There's teachers right now that are grading papers, working on lesson plans, and I've been there. I've done that. I know. I've been in that seat. I mean, there's been days where you wouldn't, you'd be up till 8 or 9 o'clock, and you haven't even started your lesson plans yet.
Yeah.
And it's because you're doing all these other extra things. So teachers really, really work hard. They really work hard, and we've got some really good educators.
And it is a kind of a challenge now to use some of the new technology as a good learning tool in the classroom. So teachers have to be up on the latest things. And we have to admit that sometimes we're kind of behind the young people, aren't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's, kids will actually teach us a few things. There's all sorts of apps out there that can be used, in the classroom. And it's really nice to be able to see kids teach the educators, some things. And that happens. That happens a lot. But that's where your collaborative efforts, come in, and the kids will start buying into that because they're teaching you, and you got their attention.
Sure.
So, oh yeah, kids are pretty intelligent.
How do you talk about Charlotte Public Schools to other people? Because there's always competition. Now there's competition in the marketplace, and people can have a school of choice and decide where they want to go. What do you tell them about Charlotte?
Oh, this is a wonderful community. I've had my opportunities to move away from Charlotte. I chose to raise my family of four boys, and I've had those opportunities to move away. I just can't do it. I love Charlotte. Always have, always will. It's the reason why I've gotten into coaching and running the youth football program here in Charlotte. I just love the community, the backing, and the support. I guess that's one of the biggest things that I'm trying to do is try to increase the communication, and the awareness.
Wait, talk a little bit about the coaching, because that must be fun for you.
Oh,
that is a communication job, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, back when I was in high school, one of my all-time favorite coaches, Tom Davis. Tom Davis was an educator here for 30 years, and I always said I wanted to be like Tom. And Tom was a physical education teacher, and he was an inspiration to me. And I decided to go to Olivet College. From there, I played football. And after that, I started coaching back in 1992 with Tom and Dick Dietrich. So I actually had the opportunity to coach with Tom. And then, of course, I coached with Paul Davis, which he's still teaching, which is great. And, ever since, I just loved it. It's the next best thing other than playing football.
Yeah, so it is. It's a lot of fun to be a coach, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
But you get to share some important skills, and kids learn more than just a game from a coach.
You're teaching kids employability traits. I mean, football is all about discipline and dedication and trustworthiness, and it's not an individual sport. There's 11 guys out there, and they all have to work together in order for something to
kind of like happen. They do in the workplace.
Absolutely, it's an employability trait. There's no doubt, and it's really nice. It's very exciting to be able to push kids, and and then of course, there are the ups and downs of football. But if that's the worst thing that ever happens in your life, I mean, you've got a great life ahead of you. And so it's it's football is amazing, and I put it right up there, with probably one of the most important things that are in my life, and I truly believe that we're also building good community members.
Community members, good character
Absolutely.
in the young people.
Yeah.
And discipline, you said.
Sure, taking pride.
Yeah, taking pride. And they have to learn a lot about strategy too, and that's kind of a growing experience, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody working together to get things done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, even with my workplace, I look at, work as like, okay, this is the football team. It's my job to make sure you get them on the bus. And then when you get them on the bus, make sure you get them in the right seat. So, it's, football's like that. And, the workforce is like that.
Yeah.
Finding those right leaders. And not everybody's meant out to be a leader, but there's a lot of influence.
So you must have a lot of stories, maybe that you don't think about, of young people that you've been associated with who have gone on either to move away from the community or continue to be here. Tell us a story. What comes to mind about a kid that maybe you've had a pretty good impact on their life?
Oh, so many. That's a tough.
Yeah.
You would think there would be an easy one, but there are just so many.
And you see them every day,
I
and
do.
you don't think about it, but you do have an impact on their life.
Well, I'll just give you a prime example. Jeff Finney. I think I don't know if you've interviewed Jeff Finney, but Jeff Finney is our head football coach. I had the opportunity to coach Jeff, and he was a defensive tackle for me. And I can remember the first was that it was challenging. Him and I would butt heads a little bit, but I could see as it moved through, he was growing as an individual, and he became a wonderful asset, obviously right now to our community, but more importantly, he became a student that that I felt that I had some impact.
That's a great example.
And so it's really nice to be able to see him be a head coach and to be able to see him teach out on the field. And I also have an opportunity. I work with Jeff, so we hired Jeff at the Relevant Academy, and he's wonderful with kids. Mm-hmm. So that's just a real nice example, I guess, of seeing somebody grow, and then all of a sudden, you're starting to see some of the rewards, of that, and it's a nice feeling.
You talk about growth. This community has grown, and it has a lot of assets to offer in schools. The Performing Arts Center, the Aquatic Center, and
absolutely.
We just take it for granted that those are great things that other communities don't have. So how do you promote that more to the region?
Well, they always say, advertise, but, I just look at the people that are involved, that are working there, or that have worked there. I can remember when Eldred Toutant and Sarah Kuhl and Chuck Grunstrom with the Aquatic Center, they were such such inspiration, to all of that. And to be able to see those people, those character people, and to know, that that's something that they have, built. It's up to us to make sure we carry that on.
Yeah.
So, you just have to tell little stories, and you have to, make sure that continues. And there's a reason why we have what we have, and it was to teach kids how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
Back when they used to do it at Duck Lake, they used to put kids on the bus, and I remember that. I remember as a kid, put kids on a bus. I'd ship you to Duck Lake, and that's where you did your swimming. And
throw you in the water.
Throw you in the water, right? Exactly. And now look where we're at.
Yeah.
And it's because you had people in the community cared about kids that put a plan together, and now we have this beautiful facility. We have to keep that in our mind.
Yeah.
That look where we came from to now. You can't just take it for granted.
Well, when you look around all of Charlotte, there's been an incredible investment in facilities just to make all of education easier. It doesn't matter if it's classrooms or any sort of, and that has really taken a lot of commitment for people to step up and work together to make that happen.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, I'm a taxpayer, and you want to make sure those dollars are going in the right place, and look at what we have. I mean, it's just wonderful. The tough thing is, maintaining those things and trying to figure out ways, and we have groups that are doing a wonderful job of making sure that that will continue.
Well, talk a little bit about that, because here you are on the Board of Education, and you have to deal in a public school system in a state that hasn't kept up with investment in public education. What do you say to people about it?
I mean, we can't just sit around and wait for people to do it, at the state level. I mean, we have to get out there, and we have to find collaborative ways to raise money if that needs to be, and or just try to find ways to get people involved. I look at the pool. I mean, I look at from just a few years ago till now, and what a turnaround we've had with just, there's so many community members, I can't name them all, that have been involved or want to be involved in making sure that that pool stays where it's at. Because there was talk that they were just going to empty the pool out just because it wasn't cost effective. I mean, it was really hurting us, and so we have people that are making sure that they are doing the extra things.
And those are very important.
Well, yeah, they are. I mean, you just tell people to hang in there and, ask them, what are you doing? What are you doing to help out?
And do you say that to legislators too? I mean, obviously, you've got to send the message to Lansing that public education needs an ongoing investment if our kids really advance. So what do you say to the state legislators and the governor if you had his ear? What would you tell him?
I said, is every decision you're making the best interest of the kids? That's exactly what I would say. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think most of the decisions that are being made are with kids at mind. I understand it's a business. I understand that. But we have a lot of other problems that we have to deal with. Outside of, cutting corners and cutting funds. We need to understand when we cut funds, and I get that sometimes that has to be done, but what is the impact?
Yeah.
Where's the data at? Show me why you made that cut. And sometimes, you just wonder, I'm not even going to say it.
Well, what are they doing?
Well, I don't know.
Ask that question.
Well, I mean, are they scratching each other's back or what? It's just, you see funding going away, and then there's, obviously the rumor, with, it's out there already, people talking about consolidating and doing this and that. I don't know if we're ready for that kind of move.
So how do you make the case for support for public education as a publicly elected official in this kind of environment that we have? What do you say to people?
I just tell them that, to me, this is the best school in the state of Michigan. I mean, I've always believed that. It's just me, and I don't base it on assessment scores. I base it on character. I base it on, commitment and what we have to offer. This is a wonderful community, and I don't know, you just look around. I don't have to sell anything. I'm not trying to sell anything to anybody. I'm just doing what I love to do. And if people want to judge me, and that's perfectly fine. They can do that.
But
And I don't look at myself as an elected official. Honestly, I just look at it as I'm here because I want to work with kids.
I don't think most school board members do. Obviously they have to run to serve, but really you're so committed and you wouldn't be elected if you weren't active in the community anyway.
Yeah.
It is a hard thing to do. Of all of the elected offices that you have, I think school board member, one of the first elected it's probably about the hardest, because you have to deal with not only the financing of public education, but all of the details that come at you as a board member.
Yeah, and you just have to be careful sometimes, what you say. I mean, people, you could say something and somebody could totally flip it around, and, they tell the next person, and all of a sudden it gets back to where it's not even the story that you said, or, and you just got to be careful. Some things are in closed session, some things are in open session, and you've got to worry about FOIA and everything else. And I don't worry about all that too much, because I really don't get into talking to other people about certain decisions and that. But if they truly want if they truly want to know the truth, I always tell them, come to a meeting. And that's one of the things that I wish we had more of. Wish we had more people attending meetings, and I wish we had more people responding. To we talk about technology. We send out things all the time. We want parents' input, on things, and honestly, rarely we ever get those things back.
How do you get people to think more and be involved in education? Not just the public coming to a meeting, but also involved in their own kids' education.
You know what? If you find that out, you let me know, because we're honestly that's been a struggle. I don't know. I mean, it's it's a tough one. It's really a tough one, to be able to get that out. I would say, the website, but not everybody has web or internet. We do have iPads, out there for, the kids, they can take home. You might be able to do some things, that way. But you almost have to be involved to really know.
Well, and you're trying to communicate as Board of Education in as many possible ways as you can to get messages out and communicate to parents in this community. So Eric, thank you for being with us.
Well, I appreciate it. Just like to give a shout out to all of Charlotte. I appreciate, everything that they do for the kids. And I'm not going anywhere, so if you need anything, you know where to find me.
All right. Eric, thanks for being with us. I'm Bob Colt. We'll continue our conversations in Charlotte Public Schools.